Okay. I think there's a bit of a lag in the video. I'm starting this a few minutes early because I saw there's some concurrent viewers. I'm guessing that means there are people out there watching this. I don't know why. Oh wow, it just went down to 1. Yay! uh, are there people who like just watch the YouTube front page for people who are going live and are like, oh yeah, there's a person going live, I'll watch them. And then as soon as they go live and are obviously have no idea what they're doing, just peace out, which same. Hi, Gabby Cook. Your message just popped up. So that's quite that shows you how much of a lag there is. Hello, Hermes. At work, there was a guy with the last name Hermes, but he didn't pronounce it Hermes. It was spelled Hermes, but he pronounced it like uh, Hermes or something. It was weird. Like I didn't know that his name was Hermes until he spelled it for me, and I was like, "Oh, like the god?" And he's like, "What?" So that was fun. Um, yeah, I figured I'd just kind of talk to you guys until 8 o'clock, and then I'll start on the piece I'm doing today. You can kind of already see the um, reference photos I've got up here are of the International Space Station lab. Hello, the local lemon. Good to have you all here. Sorry, I get distracted by pictures of myself, and so I'm like looking at the screen. Thankfully, when I start drawing, I will not be looking at myself because I can't have the YouTube thing up and my Photoshop at the same time. So, there you go. I will be switching back and forth periodically so that I can um, get people's questions if anyone has questions about anything. Otherwise, I thought I would just randomly talk. I don't usually talk um, when I'm drawing, so this should be interesting. But it'll help me if I have, like, direction, questions to talk about. So, feel free. 2 minutes. So I have some things to say, like, right off the bat, like, as far as my setup and programs and stuff, but other than that, I don't have a lot to talk about. There was a funny thing that happened today. I went on a walk and I was walking. There's a lot of weird houses in my neighborhood. I was walking by this house. The first thing I noticed was it was a bright yellow house with these two old columns, and it wasn't like classy columns. It looked like without the columns, though they looked kind of like Romanesque. Without these columns, the whole house would fall down, and they were like brittle looking and like had red at the base, and then there was a wrought iron screen door that had all these like black gothic designs on it, and uh like the two lamps next to the door had like legit bat wings on them, and I was like, this looks like a vampire's house. It looks like a house like a vampire lives here and they're trying to convince the humans that they're okay but can't quite like convince people. And so I was kind of having a quiet laugh to myself about it, and then I noticed a sticker on the window. It was a red sticker, and I was like, that's weird. I don't usually see stickers on windows. So I got closer to the house to see what it said, and it legit said full of life. And I was like, yeah, right, dude. Maybe I'm the only one that thinks that's funny, but I was just like, that's hilarious. Like, you keep trying to convince yourself that you're full of life, Dracula. Hello, Hannah Fanning. I am back, if it is me you were talking about. I haven't posted anything on YouTube in forever. Okay, so it's 8 o'clock. So we'll get this started in earnest. I see you, Mocha. I get that. So I'm using Photoshop. I've got my Intuos 4 tablet. It's the only thing I've ever used, and I think I'll keep using it even though this one is like super duper old. And but I do like this setup. Whenever this dies, I think I'll just replace it, but I do want to get an iPad sometime to like draw right on it, because with the Intuos I can't draw right on the screen. It's like this weird hand die thing, which I took to really easily actually. Some people have problems with it, but thankfully I did not, because usually I'm super bad at hand-eye coordination. So today I'm going to be working on a piece for the Artemis Fowl fan blog, because I was like, it's pretty, that won't take me a whole lot of time, so this won't be like a 2-hour stream or something. It'll be maybe 30 minutes, 45. Oh gosh, no. Oh, okay. It's like, what is, I found it. And I am by no means a pro at Photoshop, as you just witnessed. I don't know what I'm doing half the time. But yeah, so this one is going to be Artemis dealing with a lab on his space station. So I looked up pictures of space station labs, and I can't really make hide nor hair of this. I don't know what this means, but that's what I'm going to attempt to be emulating in this. So I saw that somebody, hello Isaaco and Love Art Kellys. I recognize some of these words, or some of these people. But yeah, I noticed someone, Gabby, asked about the trailer. I'm trying to be optimistic about the trailer. Like, I know that it's not going to be my Artemis or our Artemis. Like, I think everyone thinks of him as my Artemis. Like, you think of him as your Artemis. I think of him as my Artemis. I don't claim possession of Artemis. But anyway, he's not going to be the criminal mastermind that we all know and love. It's just going to be somebody else. And I was just hoping that, it's going to be a good movie. And then some people are coming out with different theories. I really do like the Artemis Fowl III theory. Like, if that was a thing, that would be amazing and hilarious, but I really sincerely doubt it. For those of you who don't know, there are some people who are like, this could be Artemis's son, and like Colin Farrell is actually Artemis and stuff. And I was like, that would be super cool. But where was my thought? But no, I don't think that's the case. I do also wonder about, like, maybe they are, like, the trailer was misleading in some way, because Disney was truer to the books, and they did make Artemis, like, a bad guy, and so, but they don't want the parents to know that yet until they get their kids in theaters. I don't know. That's my hope. So this is my really sketchy stage where I'm just blocking everything pretty much, and so everything kind of looks like crap right now. But yeah. Um, but yeah, I pretty much have the same critiques almost everyone does, except I'm not super duper upset. Like, if you want to see the movie, you see the movie. I'm still on the fence about whether I want to see it or not. I might wait for like reviews to come out because if it's just not a good movie, then I don't want to see it. Like, I think I'd be more offended if it was a bad movie than if they changed everything and it was a good movie. So, eh, let me check for more. Hmm. Yes, thank you, Iseko, for staying around at 1 a.m. So, like, what country does that put you in? Because I'm like smack dab in the middle of America. Um, though, I mean, with the whole coronavirus thing, we are not that affected so far because everyone's so spread out. I do live in a bigger town in the middle of nowhere, but we still, I think we've had like 2 confirmed cases here. Um, but yeah, so Love Art Kellis, I see your question about the fan thing. I if I love the idea of a fan movie, I don't know how um, involved I want to be in a fan movie. Just because right now I am doing a lot of work on a comic for the Webtoons short comic contest. Can everyone hear me well, by the way? I'm assuming everyone can hear me well because I'm getting some comments, but if something happens with the audio or video, please let me know. I don't know if I'll be able to fix it, but I can try. um, but yeah. Uh, so I'm working on a comic for the contest, and that will take me a few months. And then I also, I'm not sure how that whole thing's going to work, like who's going to be in charge of it and stuff like that. And I don't want to be in charge. I don't think anyone's volunteering me, but like I love this book series so much that I have a lot of opinions on it, but I don't want to be in charge. So basically, I have commitment issues, which is the story of my life. But yeah, so there's a basic sketch done. The ever important eyes. And his amazing eyebrows, which aren't canon, but I draw them like this anyway because they're amazing. Sorry about that. I'll check for more questions right now. Oh, California. Oh, the air conditioner sound is my computer because it's overheating from the stream. So that's my computer you're hearing, and I can't make it stop. So thank you for bearing with me. Maybe in the future I'll have a microphone, so then the sound won't be coming. Because right now I'm using my computer webcam and my computer microphone. So if I had a microphone like if I had a lav mic, then that would probably get rid of that air conditioner sound. Oh, you're in Wales. Isesio? Is that Welsh? I actually went to Wales once. I was in Cardiff for a week. It was my first time out of the country and my first time eating Indian food. And it was actually life-changing. Like, I loved Wales. The people there were super nice. I met an Irish lady there who thought I was Irish after hearing me speak, and I was very confused. I was like, "Do I don't have an accent, but thank you." I gave him a high collar. I think I'll keep it. When I'm draw Artemis, I kind of automatically give him the button-down high collar because of all the suits. But nowadays, I'm like, Reborn Artie wouldn't wear suits all the time. Like, it would still be his preference, but he would wear other stuff. That shoulder's too big. You are not that muscular, Artemis. And someone asked about an Artemis Fowl podcast. I'm down for anything Artemis Fowl related. I don't know what a podcast would be. Like, what would be in an Artemis Fowl podcast? Like, are people like doing audio dramas? That would be interesting. Like, people writing fan fiction and then doing some kind of audio drama of them. I mean, right now we've got a lot more what is it? What's the word I'm looking for? Content. Because with the movie coming out and the new books coming out, we have more stuff to talk about. But like, once these new books stop coming out, what would be on there? Like, would it keep going? I don't know. I mean, it's a good idea. I would be interested in hearing more about it. I'm reading the chat. Well, Love Art says that she can only draw wolves, dogs, and landscapes. Well, those are all three things I can't I can't draw. Oh my gosh. I actually have decided not to do dog portraits anymore. Partially because I don't like drawing dogs, but also mostly because all the dog people I've worked with haven't been able to give me good pictures of their dogs. Like, they want me to draw their whole dog's body, but then they won't give me pictures of their entire dog, or it's like their dog running past the camera or something. And so I'm like, dude, you're not giving me good reference. I don't know how your dog's body works. I need to know these things to do a good portrait. Because usually I don't just take from a photo and just draw the photo verbatim. I want to put the dog in a different pose. I want to do something creative with it. And yeah, and I understand that it's hard to get pictures of dogs when they're sitting still. Like, my sister has a dog, and she has such a hard time getting good pictures of him. So she mostly takes videos. Which actually, like, I would even take videos for reference. Because at least then I can see how the dog moves. But, random buttons, doo-doo. Okay. But yeah. That was a tangent that probably no one really cared about. Oh, headcanons about Reborn Artie. I have so many. Like, I have to sit and think, because I don't know. I feel like headcanons sometimes are more about a behavior and not like a fan. They're different from fan fiction. Like headcanons can be in fan fiction, but and if fan fictions hold lots of headcanons, but headcanons can be like, I think that Reborn Artie would dye his hair, which I don't. But like, you're not gonna like that's not a fan fiction in itself. You could put that in a fan fiction, but anyway, um, yeah. So a lot of my stuff is more fan fiction, I think. Um, but maybe not. I should stop proselytizing about that. Well, like one thing is, I do think that um, reborn Artemis would gray prematurely. I think I've already touched on that before. Um, sorry, Butler's face. Uh, what else? Like, I can't see him being super close with his parents. Like, I have issues with the foul parents. I think that they suck at their jobs. There you go, giving him a high collar too. No, Butler does not get a high collar. He is relaxed. He's a casual man. So there's that. What else do I think about Artemis? I think a lot of them I've already put up on the Tumblr blog. Like, I think he would have some kind of, I don't know if you'd call it body dysmorphia, because it's not like he feels like he's not really comfortable in his own skin, but it's not like he wants to change his body. It's more like he feels like he doesn't belong in a body at all because he was disembodied for so long. So, yeah, I don't know how that would kind of translate into behaviors, but I feel like he'd be a lot more mellow, maybe. He wouldn't be as dramatic. He'd be a lot more just tired, I guess. Maybe he gets winded even more easily than normal. Like he has to sleep more, whereas I don't know if this is canon. I feel like Artemis is one of those people who didn't sleep. He's just like, yeah, I can get by on 4 hours of sleep a night. That might, maybe that's canon. I'm not really good at keeping details in my head. But yeah, Hannah, same about the parents. Uh, though, yeah, love art. I didn't see Angeline in the trailer, and I was like, she's a big deal in the first movie or in the first book. Like that's a taking of like the only humanizing part about Artemis in the first book away. Like I don't think Angeline was written badly. I just think that she's a bad character. And I don't mean that in that like she's kind of villainous is what I mean. Like not that she shouldn't have been written in or something like that. So I'm gonna put here's the stuff back here. And some lines to show there's stuff in the background. Yay. So there's that. Delete. I have this thing about consolidating frame or layers. I don't like having more layers than I absolutely have to. I don't know why that is, but I don't like it. So now I'm going to start line art. And I like using, I don't know if you guys can see this. I don't know how much is shown of my cursor, but I like squishing the normal round brush because it gives kind of a natural difference in line instead of just big, fat, even lines all the time. Ah! Oh, there it is. I'll bring my opacity back up. And Gabby mentioned the dramatization. I mean, I think the audiobooks already do a really good job of that. Like, the Artemis Fowl audiobooks are on point. Friggin' love those. Like, that's how I was introduced to it. There was a really shiny audiobook on the shelf at my local library, and I was really bored. I had just moved, didn't have any friends, and I saw this shiny book, audiobook, and I was like, oh, yeah, it's got fairies in it, I'll give it a try. And then I loved it. Like, I listened to at least the first 3 on audiobook, maybe the first 4, and I read the 5th one. And that was all that was out when I started reading them. But yeah, so I mean, I think and that's another thing. If I were involved in any Artemis Fowl recreation project, I would want to change some stuff. Like, I love Owen Colfer, but it seems like a lot of the dark magic and the hard magics are introduced way too late. And then, like, in the first book, they do talk about how, like, the sprite said in the beginning that she could snap her fingers. Oh, your hair's not going to be that nice. She could snap her fingers and, like, turn Artemis into a pig. And then we never see that kind of power again, unless it's dark magic. And so I'm like, was she bluffing? Did she have dark magic at one time? I don't know. That would be an interesting villain to have to bring back the sprite that Artemis blackmailed at the beginning. Or to have her as an ally, that'd be cool too. She just kind of disappears and never comes back. That's a fun fanfiction idea. I'm reading the comments again. Okay, so yeah, I haven't listened to the audiobook for all 8 books. I was listening to some on YouTube because your girl can't afford Audible, but um, I could only find like the first 4.5 or something. So I'm trying to understand your theory, Love Art. So she's only a little bedridden, but after. So, but if Artemis Fowl Sr. says she's all he, like that Artemis is all he has left, wouldn't that mean she'd be dead? I would think. I don't know. Were there any characters that disappeared you wanted to stick around? I feel like this is heavily insinuating Minerva. And I was one of those that I really disliked Minerva at the beginning. To me, it just seemed kind of lazy. She was just a girl Artemis, which there was a Nostalgic video a while back where she talked about just making girl versions of boy characters. Like the Chipmunks do it, and a bunch of other kids' cartoons did it. And I just felt like that was super lazy writing. But when I went back and read it again when I was older, I was like, oh yeah, I mean, I like this girl. It's kind of lazy that she was written out. Like, she never came back again. I didn't like her as a love interest for Artemis, which that seemed to be kind of where it was headed. And again, I don't like pairing two people that are really super similar to each other. Um, but yeah, so I mean, I wouldn't mind Minerva coming back, but she would need a good reason to. Like, I would want a really fun um, adventure for them to team up on. But also, like, I feel like Minerva isn't a side character. Like, she is her own main character. So maybe she needs her own spin off series as well. I was going to say something else about that. What was I going to say? Oh, I just. Probably another reason why I didn't like Minerva right off the bat is because I just didn't like the fifth book very much. I did not like the demon characters at all, which. Oh, I just remembered what I got distracted from before, I think. Uh, they should not have been called demons. Like, they might look sort of demonic, but it sounds like demons denotes like a Judeo Christian kind of thing. Like, I know that there are demons in a lot of other cultures, but they're very much, I feel, in every case, connected to a religion. And we don't really connect fairies to a religion. Like, they are kind of pagan, but they're not, like, worshipped. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. Uh, so, but my point is, I would have rather the demons be called something like gargoyles or something like that, to that nature, where it's less dependent on religion. Maybe Gargoyle still is very religious, but I just think of the Disney show, so that I never saw. But your hand looks too beefy. But yeah, otherwise, like Duda, I guess, was another one that just kind of, I think he might have been mentioned one time after the fifth book, but he didn't really get his day in the sun, so I don't really even know that character very well. Uh, I think number one could have been in the books more. Like, I know he didn't disappear after the fifth book, but he could have been in it. Like, because, especially since they brought in so much more magic later on, which, again, if I was working on an adaptation, I would bring that stuff in much sooner so that it was an established part of the world and it wasn't just like, what? The fairies are allergic to animal fat? When did that come up? Kind of deal. Like, oh, they use runes? Why haven't they been using runes this whole time? So, oh, I forgot Artemis's mouth. I just kind of left him without a mouth this whole time. I mean, I'm sure Holly would not mind, but gotta give my beautiful vampire some teeth. Don't know if I want him a huge smile though. That looks too smug. Like, Artemis does smug, but that's less smug, I think. Check the text. The tag is there. The oh my gosh. Victoria, speak. Check the chat again. Oh my gosh. Oh, Iseko says the connection died. We good? Let's see. So in the book talking. Oh, that Local Lemon, that makes sense. That Lost Colony was its own standalone book, and then he made it Artemis Fowl. That actually explains a lot. Because yeah, that whole book just has a whole weird change of tone, and that's when everything starts to go kind of sideways. Oh, Victoria can't draw straight lines. That's always a fun thing when people are like, "You're an artist, I can't even draw a straight line." And I'm like, "Well, then I have some disappointing news for you. I also cannot draw a straight line." Uh, that's what a ruler is for, people. Also, the stick figure thing. I'm sure every artist hears that. I can only draw stick figures. I'm like, some people make a living off of only drawing stick figures. You got talent too, man. I'm not even really going to try to make this awesome. Because I feel like with these backgrounds, if you can read it, if you can understand what's going on, I've done my job. I don't need to. And if I put in too much detail, it also starts to get really super distracting. So, some gears and some other things back here. Tori's just gonna sing to herself. um, I actually could never get into Earl Grey tea. I like sweet teas. Not sweet teas like Kentucky or something sweet teas, but like things with fruits in them. Trying to think of something else Artemis Fowl related to say. Like, I could always rant about Angeline Fowl, but I just have a problem with mother figures in media in general. And not like mothers, like literal, I gave birth to you mothers, but mother figures who, whether the characters want them to or not, will take on a motherly role and then continue to be the worst. And there's so many of them, and no one ever calls them out. But it's all a matter of opinion. Like, it's not like these characters have done anything horrible. It's all very arguable, but I have strong opinions on the subject. The only kind of tea he knew. That's a very... I feel like Earl Grey tastes gray. Maybe I'm misremembering. Butler needs to look more indignant. And your face doesn't go like that. Okay, I will rant more about Angeline Fowl, but first I'll answer what my favorite book of the series is. It's The Opal Deception. I think Artemis is at his peak in that book. Like, he has friends, he's super smart, he's just great. And then Opal is also at her best in Opal Deception. Like, I love Opal as a villain, but I feel like she kind of lost some of her pow after the Opal Deception. And she's just trying to get back to that place, even though in other books it's past Opal that we're dealing with. So, yeah, I really like that one, and I like that Holly has to go basically remind Artemis who he is. That's super fun. So, yeah. Oh, we're almost done. Just gotta add some color stuff. But yeah, I just really, I didn't like uh, Angeline. I think she was okay in Artemis Fowl, the first book, just because she was mentally ill, and so it was like, okay, I get it. I understand your plight. You're good. But like, I think I started disliking her in Opal Deception when she was it in Opal Deception when she forces Artemis to call her mom and forces him to wear jeans. Like, I mean, your son does like such incredible things, and all you can see is that he is not like what you would want him to be like. Like, he's not a normal kid, and that's your problem with him. Like, I can't remember what his beard looks like. I know I've got it down in here somewhere. Hello. See, this is all of my, I don't know if you can see the layers, but these are all different days. I let them get up to 100 and then I start a new file. So, okay. Um, but yeah, so really it was just that. Like, you can't appreciate this kid. And plus, like, I hate when moms abandon their kids. And that's essentially what Angeline does to Artemis. Like, she at least emotionally abandons him. Like, unless he performs the way she wants him to perform, she is not, she will not claim him. She is not his mom. And, like, his dad isn't great either, but at least his dad knows that he's a bad dad. Whereas I feel like Angeline really thinks that she's a great mom. And I'm like, no. Stay away from Artemis. Let his fairy friends mother him because you have had your try and you sucked at it. So, there, I gave him a beard. So actually, stubble doesn't look too bad on him. The full beard looks weird, but stubble doesn't look too bad on you, Artemis. So, what else? There was something else about Angeline that I wanted to say. But yeah, oh yeah. So like, she's doing the same thing with the twins. Like, if you've read, she doesn't have a scene like in um, the Fowl twins because she's not there. Like, she got her doctorate, which I mean, good for her, but then she left the house to mother her children for her. It's like, the heck, Angeline? The heck? Okay, that's too close to his beard color. Don't want that. Okay, what else do I need? I think I do need these to be a different color. What? Let me check the chat again. Oh yes, the lollipops line. Oh my gosh. No, stop. Like, I actually, maybe this is gonna get me in trouble. I kind of think that line is a little bit cringy. Like, maybe the line by itself. Like, in context, it is better. Like, it's the worst comeback to anything. So I guess, yeah, that's the point. It's the worst comeback to anything ever. him saying I don't like lollipops. I mean, it is kind of. I mean, I know that Holly was trying to be degrading when she told him she'd bring him back a lollipop. Maybe it's also because I don't know of anyone who calls them lollipops. Like, I live in Kansas and we call them suckers. Unless she was gonna get him a spiral lollipop, which you can't get those except for like at super old timey places or Cracker Barrel. So, was that it? Was Holly just really showing her age? Because that's possible, I guess. So, if that was written today, no. I think I have gotten an ask. I don't know if I've answered it yet. Uh, which was asking if Artemis would ever say "Okay, Boomer," which is definitely no. But it would be hilarious if Miles or it would be Beckett. If Beckett said "Okay, Boomer" to Holly, like she would be so confused, and that would be the best part. She'd have no idea what he was talking about. No, that would not be colored. It would be outside. This would be well lit because it's a laboratory. There we go. Woo. Okay. So do some background stuff and Butler, and then I think it's done. Oh, yeah. Local M, and they might call them lollies in the UK. Yeah, love art. I agree. Like, Angeline has been through a lot. Like, I don't think she's a bad person. I think she's a bad mom. Like, I'm a bad athlete, but I'm not a bad person, kind of thing. Uh, like, she just doesn't know how to be a mom. Which, I mean, maybe I shouldn't judge. I've never been a mom, but I have worked with bad mothers, and so I get kind of touchy about it. Okay. Okay, so Gabby asked, what question is this piece answering? Um, well, I've kind of been doubling them up because I have, like, still over 40 in the queue, and I want to get through them. So, um, one of the questions it's going to be answering is something about the coronavirus, which is actually a newer ask, but since it's kind of time sensitive, I like to get the time sensitive ones out of the way when I can. Sometimes I don't just because I'm like, okay, I don't feel like this is a genuine question. Or this person isn't, like if someone says like, Happy St. Patrick's Day, which I didn't get any of those this year. Or they didn't get any of those this year. Like, that person probably isn't like waiting for me for like an answer to Happy St. Patrick's Day. But this was a legit question about the coronavirus, and so I was like, yeah, I'll get that one answered while the answer is still relevant. And then the other question and answers will be something older. So I do try to get them done first come, first serve for the most part. Some of the ones that are addressed to the group get answered quicker because then I don't feel like I have to draw a picture for it. I can just do a text post, so that saves me some time. I don't know if whenever I don't know if you guys have picked up on these kind of posting patterns that I have. But da, 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 da. Okay. Get some of these white thingies up here. And ta-da! It's done. And that took me about 45 minutes. So, hey! Let me save. Save as. Random string of letters. Okay. And then I'll uncrop it because I need that size later. But yeah, there it is. You have just witnessed the entire creation of one of the... Oh yeah, I did forget Butler's beard! Ah! Go back and do that. Thank you for telling me. What did Butler's beard look like? Oh, and he had hair too. Well, here's a little short Butler headcanon. I don't think he likes having lots of hair. I think he likes having short hair or being completely bald. That's just me, but that's what I think. I think if Butler has grown a lot of hair, it shows that he's been in a bad place mentally. Doo-doo-doo. Yay! He has hair! Okay, let's do this again. Image, crop. File, save as, random numbers. Okay, okay. There we go. I'll merge these layers together. Okay, there we go. Got it. All right, so do I have a design for Madame Co? No, I don't. No one's ever asked a question to Madame Co. And I don't know, like, would she look like just a traditional little old Japanese lady? Or would she look like like more modernized? Like, would she wear a suit? I don't know. Cause I don't want to like be racist and put her in a. Actually, I really like. I kind of picture her like. Has anyone seen that episode of Teen Titans, classic Teen Titans, where Robin is wants to be trained by the master, and so he thinks it's going to be like some buff man, but it turns out to be this little old lady who wears a bowler hat and has her hair in braids. That's how I picture Madame Co. And I will like I'll see if I can design that Jade Princess shirt because that would be a fun shirt to have. All right. Well, I think that's where I'm going to leave this. So the stream lags, so I'm not sure if I cut it now, is it going to cut it before the lag? I don't know. So I guess we'll find out together. And thank you all for coming to this stream. Um, it went better than I thought. Like there weren't a lot of long, awkward pauses. Uh, but and it was really helpful, all you guys who asked questions. That did give me something to think about while I was doing this. And I was able to talk and draw at the same time, so that's nice. Uh, Goodbye, Gabby. And so, yeah, I will hopefully do this again. I don't know how soon it will be, but send me some ideas via any of my social media. All right. Have a good night, everybody.